Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to my shop. In this video, I'm going to show you how I insulated my garage door with this kit and some of the challenges that I met up with. And I thought I would record that and show you how I handled it, and because I didn't expect to run into these, so maybe if you do or something similar to it, this will help you to figure out your way around it and get the job done. So stay tuned, I'll show you how I do this. Okay, this is a thermometer I've got in the middle of my garage, and you can see it's about 50 degrees right now. Okay, so the inside of my garage door here is just a metal, and what I'm going to do is take a temperature sensor here, see if I can get a good image of this, and see what the temperature is based on this inside. I'm about 44 degrees. I'm surprised that it's that warm, but I've got a little bit of heat going on inside here yet. Typically, it'll get down to about into the teens and sometimes even below zero outside. So, insulating this door is going to make a big difference as far as retaining heat in here. And also it'll make it cheaper to heat in here because I won't be losing so much through this thin door. Garage door, as you can see, it's pretty plain, no insulation on it at all. Right now it's about, I think, 30 degrees outside I was reading. Typically it'll get down to into the teens and sometimes even lower, sometimes below zero. What I'm going to do here is to get these panels cleaned up, get the cobwebs and the dead bugs out and so forth, get it cleaned up a bit. Then I'll start working on putting these panels in. One of the things I want to do too is to measure what my panels are going to be. I got a cavity on this side, cavity on that side for the top and bottom, and that's going to measure approximately about 18 3/4 inches there. And then the length of this goes from inside this other end here and measures up to the end of this part here. This is going to be approximately 53 inches. So that's what I'll be cutting these panels to size for. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and we'll get to work on getting these panels in. I'm just going to show you how I install one panel, and then I'm not going to bore you with all 8 of these panels. Then I'll cut out and cut back in again once I've got them all in here and show you that. Okay, one thing I've noticed as I was checking out my measurements here is that the top panel and the bottom panel are different widths. They're more like, this one's a 21 inch, well, 20 and a half inches. This is like almost 21 inches on the bottom. The lengths are still going to be about the same. It's just that the panels will be wider and the 2 middle ones will be narrower. So keep that in mind. Be sure you check it with each of these that you do. Double check your measurements. Measure twice, cut once, like they say. Make sure you get it correct. Now the panels that come with this are like 20 and a half inches. So it'll be a pretty cool fit. It'll be slightly loose. What I might do is figure out some sort of inserts I can put in here to snug them up a little bit. And if I cut the lengths good and snug, then they should hold in place pretty well. So should not be a problem. This is the garage door kit that I got. I ordered this from Amazon and paid about $89 for it. And this covers a standard 1-car garage door. For about $10 more, you can get a larger size that will cover a 2-car garage door. So not that much more to do a 2-car garage door. I'll put a link to this in the description below so that you can find this online. So I've opened the end of this box, and looks like this will be the simplest way to take these out of the box. Otherwise you got a long awkward cut to make for the length of the box to get this out. So this will be the easiest way to pull these out. I'll get them out and start working with them to get them cut to size to fit my panels. Alright, so I have these panels out, laid out here, and there's a bunch of them here that'll give me, I think, 8 panels in all for doing my single car garage door. And these are slotted on one side to give them some flexibility. Then the other side is flat. And this flat side is the side that I will have facing out or facing inward towards me to give a cleaner look to it. Now inside the box I found these instructions on how to install this. It's just this one-sided page. The other side there's nothing, it's a blank. And when I opened the box and took these panels out, I found these instructions to be way down at the other end of the box. And I looked at the box and it did not give me any indication as to which end to open first, so that I would find the instructions first before I pulled the panels out. So just as a heads up for you, if you don't find the instructions right away, they're going to be at the other end of the box in there for you. Now the thickness of these panels here is only about 1.25 inches, but this does have an R rating of 4.8, almost an R5. And given that in western Pennsylvania here, I live in zone 5, which is relatively good. If you get up further north, like in Minnesota, where I used to live, it gets a lot colder up there, and the R values come more into play up there as far as keeping warm. So this will be good for my area here, the zone that I'm in. This is going to be pretty sufficient. Also, the depth or thickness of materials I can put into my garage door cavity are about 1.5 inches. So this will be a good fit, and I'll put some tape on also in order to make sure it stays in place well. For cutting these panels to length, I use a tape measure, pencil, and a utility knife. I like these ones that extend out long because, especially for things like this, lets me get deeper cuts than a standard utility blade would. But I'll measure this out to the length that I want. I want a 53 inch on this one, so I'll mark it with a pencil there. And that's where I'll line up my square. On those marks, got that squared up. Then I can take my utility knife, score it. Then I can put this over an edge, and like drywall and stuff, you can just kind of break this along at the score and then get your piece off of there. Now as far as doing the width of this, I'll measure the widths at probably 3 different points, and I'll take a longer straight edge to put across there, score it again, break it off just like I did with this one, and that can get me to fit in there. Alright, so when I did this top panel here, I've got some stuff I'm trying to work around here. It's really getting to be a tight squeeze to get this in here. So I decided to cut this into 2 parts. I've got a piece there and got them positioned in there. Made it a lot easier than trying to work with one piece and trying to get around some of this hardware here. So did that, and I'll put some tape across this, and that'll seal that up for me. When I'm putting these panels into these door frames here, because these got kind of flanges on them, and the panels have to fit up in between these flanges here. So when I'm wrangling them in there, these have to bend a bit so that I can squeeze them into those. Also with squeezing them in on the sides too. So it's like 4 sides I'm trying to squeeze in at the same time here. Alright, so now you can see that I've got all of these 8 panels in, and it's a little bit of a challenge because I had to work around to get these squeezed into the cavities to make sure they fit right, and then tape them up again. But I can tell that I've got a temperature difference already, and I'll take another temperature reading here with that infrared thermometer. So as you can see now, my temperature is up to 55 degrees from, what was it before, like 44 degrees I think. Of course, I don't have any heat turned on in here right now, so this is quite a difference from what it was before. I know the temperature has gotten to be colder outside, so it's this is certainly working better than what I had before. And this will save me a lot of heat. Well, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration to insulate your garage door. If you did, please give me a like and share it with your family, friends, and fellow craftspersons. Also, please give me your comments. I get a lot of great information and ideas from you. And please subscribe so you won't miss anything. So, if the ladies don't find you handsome, at least they should find you handy. Thank you.